Hello everyone and welcome to the program, Midday Discourse on Global Television. I am Samuel Odi. Many thanks for joining on today's edition of the program. We'll be having a series of conversations today. We'll be looking at, majorly we'll be looking at Zamfara State as opposition invites the current sitting governor of the of People's Democratic Party, the PDP, to come join the ADC. Now the coalition, we're the ones sending out this invite through the Zamfara State chairman of ADC. We'll be having that conversation now on, the current defection. We've been seeing majorly some states, APC states and mostly some PDP states. We've seen the governors, sitting governors, deflect to the All Progressive Party, talking about the fact that they are in line with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, and they have shown support for this said leader for the 2027 general election that would be coming up. So on the other note, we'll also be having conversations around the sole administrator of River State, who the current committee, the committee on budget, are looking into the 1.24 trillion 2025 budget that has been passed, and now conversations are rising up around concerns with that figure and what the monies would be used for. For instance, 24 billion for just CCTV cameras. That rose eyebrows, and then questions are being asked by the Reps House of Committee in line with managing incident like this on, questions, eyebrows being asked. Nigerians also are reacting to it differently. But we'll start up with Zamfara State, obviously, where there have been series of concern ranging from banditry and insecurity have been the talk of the town for Zamfara State. The most recent was when the governor's brother got kidnapped by these said bandits. Well, let me bring you up to speed with the story, and still will bring you live visuals of the Zamfara State governor's younger brother, who was adopted by some bandits, alleged bandits. Let me bring you up to speed with the story where it says Zamfara State chairman of African Democratic Congress, Kabiru Garba, has invited the state governor, Dauda Lawal, to leave the People's Democratic Party for his party. Addressing the press conference in Gusau, the state capital, just this past weekend, Garba said no fewer than 100 political actors from different political parties in the state had so far joined the ADC. Garba attributed the resolution of some political figures in the state to join the party to the startling leadership quality demonstrated by ADC leadership through justice, fairness, and equal opportunity to all members. So if this is on the ground of this invite, then why not? But what if there are more that need to be, that is the reason behind all of these defections that we've been seeing by numerous political parties? Insecurity has been the major concern of Zamfara State, which we rightly mentioned earlier that the younger brother of the state governor has been kidnapped by alleged bandits. So now let me bring you, a video clip circulating the social media around his recent kidnap.
Ya kake da Dauda? Ya kake da Dauda? Ni kanan Dauda ne. Uwanku guda, ubanku guda? Uwanmu guda, ubanmu guda. Kai da Dauda? Uwanmu guda, ubanmu guda. To in ba kawo abin da mun kace ba, kashe ka zamu. In ba kawo abin da mun kace ba. Kace da a kira Dauda a hado kudin nan. Haji ko? Kira Dauda a hado kudin nan. Kala hadisi. Kira Dauda a hado kudin. Kace ma dinga shege kace kasa. Kira Dauda a hado kudin nan.
Well, very disturbing visual there, though the younger brother of the state governor said he is the brother, the same father, the same mother. So a lot of persons have been asking questions if he's actually his brother, but you rightly heard, if you don't understand Hausa language, he says, Ubamudya, which translates to the fact that we both have the same father and the same mother. We'll be going on a quick break, and then when we return back, we'll be having this conversation where I'll be introducing my guest. Stay with us. thanks for joining. If you're just joining, this is Midday Discourse on Global Television, and I am Samuel Odi. We're set to get into the conversation of the day, and I have my guest here with me in the person of Dr. Bartholomew Abochenu, who is an elder statesman. Good afternoon, Doctor. Thank you for joining on today's edition.
I'm glad for you having me this afternoon.
Yes, sir. You know, we've seen over the past weekend, we've seen invitations by ADC to the Zamfara State Governor talking about Dauda Lawal, who they are soliciting and, you know, trying to woo him into joining ADC. That's talking about the coalition. Now, the coalitions are the ones trying to get him to join the party. But before we get into defection and him joining the party, let's start off from the high level and tenacity of insecurity, which has actually affected the governor personally, based on the fact that his younger brother was adopted a couple of days ago. Looking at the insecurity issues in Zamfara State, do you think inviting the governor by the coalition to join ADC is actually the right approach to take?
Democracy is a game of number.
Okay.
Inviting the governor to join in the spree of coalition formation for ADC is a normal thing. When you are trying to build up, you make use of anything at all that you can fall on. So inviting the Zamfara State governor in person of Elawa Dauda should not be a straightway attestation to the fact that he is a performing governor. The ADC formation members are just looking for a number to make sure that they have a heavyweight pool. So that they have a heavyweight pool. Remember, the APC themselves, they canvassed for membership. Hello?
Yes.
They canvassed for membership so that they can have their number. So the ADC can equally employ that strategy. So invitation put across to the Zamfara State governor is not an attestation in any way that he is a performing governor. Okay. What the ADC formation members are actually doing is to make sure that they get their number and to be able to push through.
Definitely. Are you saying that the ideology of the ADC now, it's not based on performance, it's just based on numbers? That is adopting their membership, having people that they want to send out an invite. It's just based on not performance. I thought performance is
you will not talk of performance because they are not in government.
Okay. They actually just have 4 local governments.
Yeah, the person on top of the horse is the owner of the horse.
Okay.
And is the person that you evaluate how well he can control the horse. ADC, they are trying to come up stage and they are trying to see how they can gather whatever they can gather to form a structure. Oh, you won't talk of performance here because they are not in the spray. They are not in the spray. They are not in government. Oh, you cannot talk in terms of performance. They are trying to get a formation. They are trying to get a structure. And when you are trying to get a structure and you are looking for somebody who is qualified, you may miss out. Because we are using the human intellect. Okay. You can't get the person who is actually qualified. Just like, if you wouldn't mind, if I can take you back to the Bible, you know, the Lord Jesus Christ, he gave a parable about a king that organized a wedding for his son. And the Bible says he invited the noble, those whom he felt that when they came to the feast, it will make the feast grievous. But it disappointed him. And he told his servant, go and gather whoever you can find so that the whole house can be filled with guests. And as a result of that, so that I can do what I want to do. So what ADC is doing now is to bring every Tom, Dick, and Harry together so that they can form a structure to deliver on their agenda.
Okay. Delivering on their agenda. We'll get to that because they've not told us what their agenda actually is. So we'll be hoping to see that they give us a very good agenda that's give Nigerians a very good agenda if Nigerians will want to, you know, run with that. But what is your reaction to the coalition, you know, adopting ADC as, you know, a party they would want to get themselves associated with, though they've not like come out publicly to say that yes, we have all defected from our respective primary parties?
If you're asking of my take, the question could as well go in this way. Are you satisfied with the present government? Are you satisfied with the present government? Me, I have said it unequivocally, time without number, that I'm not satisfied with this government.
Okay.
A government that does not care about the insecurity that is ravaging on people, the government that does not care about people going hungry, the government that does not care about the rule of law. Nnamdi Kanu has been set free by court. They are holding him bound. They are holding him bound.
But the Minister of Works have said they are getting into conversations with this current administration to see how they would have Nnamdi Kanu released. They
are getting into it. They have not gotten into it.
But that's a
Nnamdi Kanu is still there. We are talking about what we have experienced. If Lisa from Alaska in US had not risen and spoken on this when they had their session at the Red Chamber in USA, they wouldn't have cared about it. A government that has no respect for the rule of law, a government that will go on nefarious activities and they will tell you to go to court. And if you go to court, they will tell the judge, if you deliver judgment contrary to what we are looking for, you have yourself to blame. It is very clear everywhere. How will I support that kind of government? A government that does not care about the protection of lives and property. I have a neighbor in the estate that I am, was coming from work about 2 weeks back. He entered one chance. One chance is everywhere in the city of Abuja. But since he does not touch them, they bother less about it. Government is meant to protect lives and properties. That is what our tax, the taxes that we pay, are supposed to be meant for. We pay taxes, you collect the taxes and push them into your pocket, and you say we should go to hell. If we die, you don't care. And so coalition, whether they have a good agenda or they don't have a good agenda, if you are in the hands of robbers, you will like to be free from their hands first, not minding where you are even going. Hello? Are you getting what I'm saying? I don't care where ADC is taking us to. But where we are presently is quite unfriendly. Nobody would like to stay here. Anybody, any alternative way to politics, any alternative way to democracy that is coming now, I bet you so many people will support it. Because life is not easy for anybody. It is not easy for me, and I know it is not easy for several people out there. So ADC, whether they have a sound agenda or they don't have a sound agenda, provided this government is not friendly with the people, is not people-centric, I believe they will wield the support of the masses.
Okay. Wielding the support of the masses is something on another note, but wait, for now, let's see what will happen. Before we get into, you know, Nigerians yielding powers and then knowing who to go ahead with in the coming elections, that's talking about 2027 right now. So let's look at Zamfara State. Since we're still talking about Zamfara State, the current, you know, in the year 2005, the former administration built, you know, a state hospital. The cost of everything was around 1 billion Nigerian naira, and in the long run, we're seeing renovation by this current administration saying it's going to cost around 9 billion to renovate that same hospital. So what's your take on this, based on inflation matters and, you know, the figures now that has been, you know, increased by, that has been used or that is said to be used by this current government in Zamfara State?
What has happened in Zamfara is not a new thing. That is what happens across board everywhere. You want to tell me that the presidency, they are not inflating contracts? But they are smart about it. When they do it, those who would challenge them, they give them their own portion and seal their tongue, their mouth. What I'm trying to say is that what has happened in Zamfara, the governor wanted to eat alone and is prone to dying alone. If not, it is so ridiculous. How will you build a structure with 1 billion and you are coming to renovate it with 9 billion?
Yes, 20
yes,
20 years
yes,
down the
I
line.
understand that. I understand that. That the hospital was built in 2005.
Yes.
And from 2005 to this time,
Yes.
there would have been a kind of rising in the cost of things.
Looking at our FX market.
But not so exponentially as we are seeing. Not so exponentially as we are seeing. There was a car you bought in 2005. Let's say 2005, if you had around 1.5 million, you can get a good car.
That's at 2005.
Isn't it?
Yes.
But that same car that you bought in 2005 for 1.5 million, if you have 10 million, you can get it now. If you have 10 million naira, you can get it now. But how will you come and tell me now that that car you bought in in 2005 for 1.5 million, you have bought it for 1 billion? It sounds so ridiculous. Moreover, what the governor did was renovation, painting. When we are talking about renovation, is painting. Renovation that would have not cost up to 10 million. I'm very, very convinced that the work he did was not up to 10 million in total. If you will even jack it up to 50 million. If not 50 million, let it be 100 million. If not 100 million, let it be 500 million. If not 500 million, at most, let it be 1 billion that was used to build that hospital. Not 1 billion. How about now? It's so ridiculous. Don't you have conscience? And in this state, there are a lot of poor people. There are a lot of out-of-school children. How about now? Nigerians. That is so ridiculous. That is so ridiculous. Of Dauda Lawal. Let the House deal with him in line with the law.
All right, let's talk about youthful engagement. You rightly meant, now we had conversations around the fact that, you know, insecurity in the rural area is actually on a very high side. Now with the governor himself being, you know, partly affected, given the fact that his younger brother was adopted a couple of days ago, and vocally the younger brother testified that he is actually bearing the same name and have the same father and mother with the current state governor. How well do you think this will take towards providing employment and also tackling the insecurities in Zamfara State?
In the first place, talking about insecurity in the country.
Do you think the governor is doing enough? Like state governors generally. Let's talk about Alia, let's talk about Governor Zulum, and also, you know, Governor Dauda Lawal. Do you think they are doing enough individually as state governors to tackle the insecurity?
Well, what I have to say in line with that is that when we talk in terms of security, you know, the governors are handicapped. the governors are handicapped. What is happening in their various states?
Yes.
They are beyond them. Earlier himself, the governor of Benue State, Hyacinth, earlier, he confessed, he said that, you know, what is happening in his state are being instigated from Abuja. It could happen, it could be the thing happening in Borno, it could be the thing happening in Plateau, and the same thing happening in Zamfara. When we talk in terms of security, it's the federal government that has to be held responsible. Iran blasted the federal government the other day that her soldiers are cowards. For instance, how will terrorists come to your country and hold you hostage? I got a message, I don't know how true it is, I've not verified it anyway, that these terrorists, they went to Mali to establish their base, and the Malians finished them and dispersed them from there. When you keep saying that the weapons that these terrorists are carrying are more sophisticated than the weapons of the soldiers, what are you trying to say? You're trying to tell us that you're a weak country. No wonder Nigeria comes fourth in line with a military strength, military might in Africa. Nigeria is the most populous. Nigeria, we are about 230 million. Egypt would come first. Egypt, that is about 100 million. Egypt, that is not up to 1/3 of our population, is stronger than Nigeria by far. Now look at Algeria, that comes second in terms of military might ranking. There are only 46 million people, and they are stronger in military might than Nigeria. South Africa, that comes third, is about 63 million. They are stronger than, what are you telling us? And when you come up to the media, you will be praising Nigeria, praising Nigeria. If you are not strong militarily, forget it. Any person can come and terrify you, and terrorize you, rather to say. That's the word I wanted to use. Any country can come and terrorize you. So what it means is, as small as Algeria is there, they can come and terrorize Nigeria because we can't stand them in war. That is what it means. And then when they come out, they will now be praising the federal government. We have arrived, we are doing this, we are doing that. We are not seeing it. The global index is not seeing it. You are only opening your mouth and saying what you want to say. That does not help us. So with the brother, the sibling of the Zamfara state government, governor, being abducted, is a show that the thing is beyond governor. What is happening, the insecurity that we have across the country is beyond the governors. That is the truth. That is the truth. And the federal government has to do something about it. It appears as if the federal government is interested about what is happening. When it happens in Benue, they will now come up and say, we condemn it. When it happens in Plateau, they will now come up and say, we condemn it. When it happens in Zamfara, they will say, well, they will come up and say, we condemn it. As you are condemning it, what are you doing? You will continue in the condemnation. You will come up and begin to say that, oh, the military forces, they were able to kill about 15 bandits. About 15 bandits this week. Next week again, you say they were able to kill about 23 bandits. So the bandits will ever be there for the military to be killing them. It's not killing them that is our interest. Our interest is putting their activities to a stop. Let the federal government wake up. The federal government does not have empathy for her citizens. Under this present administration, they are not compassionate at all. They don't have the feeling of the masses that they are leading. We are crying. But because they have protection, they have the soldiers to guide them, they don't care. But we are raising our voices. We cannot keep silent. We cannot keep silent. These people that we pay taxes, that they should take care of us, they are not taking care of us. They are the ones killing us. They are the ones killing us. Somebody sent a post to me of the Fulanis threatening the citizens of Nigeria that they are coming with war. They are coming again with another holy war. The war of 1804 is coming to repeat itself. Then I told the person, go and relax. It's not the Fulanis that are threatening Nigeria. It's the non-patriotic leaders that are at the helm of affairs that are threatening Nigerians. Who are the Fulanis? How many are they? How many are they? I cannot see cowards that are as much as the Fulanis that are into this kind of activities. If you know you are not a coward, why do you visit a village at night? Come in the daytime now and say, okay, see us here, come out and let us fight. But in that you came at night and killed and ran away, you are a coward. So the Fulanis are not there. It's the federal government that is sponsoring these Fulanis. That is the truth of it. And I make bold to say that the military that we have, they are not weak. They are strong. But you don't give them the command to do what they are supposed to do. I am very, very comfortable in my spirit to say that if you give the leeway to the military, 1 week is enough to crush all the insurgents that are in this country. 1 week is enough for them to disband the Boko Haram. 1 week is enough for them to disband Bello 2G that is in Zamfara and the rest of them. The federal government is not doing well. They are not doing well. They are part of the insecurities that we have in the country. When these Fulanis, they go to a particular place and invade the place and carry out their massacre, and the people come out to the street to protest, they will go and arrest those who are protesting. While you leave those who have caused havoc to go scot-free, and sometimes even if you arrest them, you set them free in the guise of they have repented. Who will ever come to court and he is facing judgment and you ask him question, will you do that thing that you did before you were brought here again, or you will not do it? Who will be stupid to say that he will go and do it again? Nobody will be stupid. So if we will base on repentance, then nobody would go to prison. Because anybody you bring to court and you ask him question, he will tell you he will not do it again. The federal government is the person that is supporting insecurity in this country. They don't mean what they are doing.
Okay, before we go on a quick break, let's look at, we have over 200 million Nigerian citizens, and then this number is highly populated by youth. Zamfara State has the highest number, arguably most states in Nigeria to have the highest number of the youthful population. So in terms of development now and tackling insecurity, creating jobs, how key is it going to be for Governor Dauda Lawal of Zamfara State now to create more opportunities to finance the youthful population he has in the state?
It depends on the will. It depends on the will. The money is there. How many youths are there in Zamfara? The money is there. What of the 200 billion that he got from oil subsidy removal? I learned that 20 billion was sent to him on monthly basis for 10 months. It's part of what the State Assembly are calling him to react to. The 200 billion just vanished out of the state's treasury. The State House of Assembly have issued him a letter for him to come and defend that. And so it's not the money to empower the youth that is the problem. The problem is the will, the desire, the empathy, the compassion to do what is correct, to empower the youth. The money is there. The will is the issue.
Hope he finds the will. So we'll be going on a quick break, and then when we return back, we'll be having our second conversation around this sole proprietor of River State, where the House of Reps Committee are looking into the 2024 budget that was passed, and then now questions are being asked. Why do you need this so much money? Stay with us and find out more immediately after this break. Many thanks for staying with us. If you're just joining, this is Midday Discourse, and we're having great conversations with the elder statesman live here in the studios with us. We've been having conversation around oppositions trying to woo the governor of Zamfara State into joining the ADC. That's the coalition, led this charge, and then the chairman of the state party, ADC, sent the letter, but still, in response, the governor of Zamfara State, Dauda Lawal, has said he is not defecting to any party. So we'll be looking at that. We'll see how that unfolds in the next couple of weeks, if he will decamp or if that wouldn't happen. So on our second conversation for the day, we're looking at the budgetary of 2025, and we're focusing more on that of River State at this hour, based on the fact that the House of Representatives Committee on Oversight of River States on Monday queried the state sole administrator, Vice Admiral Ibrot Abbas, retired, over some expenditure in his 1.48 trillion 2025 budget. This follows the appearance of the state delegation before the committee at a budget defense section held at the National Assembly complex here in Abuja. So looking at it now, Sir Elder Statesman, 1.48 trillion 2025 budget for River States. Do you think that budget is outrageous?
1.48
trillion.
48 trillion.
Yes.
For rivers.
Yes.
Well, it depends on their objectives.
24 billion for CCTV, one of the objectives.
For one, how much for?
24 billion naira for CCTV.
Okay.
But one of the objectives.
That is the way of people in governance in Nigeria. They overinflate things, just like we have heard of the
sorry, we sincerely apologize for that quick technical break that we had to take. And we're having conversations around River State and its budget based on the fact that last week we saw the House of Representatives Committee on Budgetary called the sole administrator of River State on his 1.48 trillion 2025 budget for River State, where we've seen 24 billion has been allocated, 24 billion naira has been allocated for the installation of CCTV cameras at the River State Government House, 30 billion naira earmarked for procurement of gunboats, and 23 billion listed under the contingency provision without detailed justification. So looking at this now, the House members were asking questions, on why the spendings and why there's so much allocation for just CCTV camera, gunboats, and also 23 million naira not being justified. Questions are being asked, and we'll still talk about the peace that has been made between Mwike and the governor of River State, who is over on break now or on suspension based under the orders of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu from office. So now we'll see if that peace will stand the test of time, and also we'll look at these monies. Elder statesman, looking at this budget now, like I rightly broke down from reports, it says 24 billion for installation of cameras, 30 billion for gunboat, and then 23 billion not justified on what is going to be used for. Looking at all of these monies now, do you think it's actually too much for a year?
Seriously outrageous. By my own judgment, it is seriously outrageous. For the members of the House of Assembly to raise an alarm over this, I hope they mean what they are doing. I hope they mean what they are doing. Because when the sole administrator replies them and decide to grease the knots, even if their reply is not genuine, they will keep quiet. Because the style of the game is, if you chop and you allow me to chop, I keep quiet. So if the sole administrator decides to do all these appropriations without any genuine reason for all this, and he greases the knots, they will keep quiet. They are calling the attention of the governor or the sole administrator, while all this outrageous spending probably may be as a result of their own portions not being given to them. I pray that the call to reaction may be an honest one. If it is an honest one, the sole administrator will be forced to amend his appropriation. Because I can't see how installation of CCTV will just draw 24 billion. Installation of CCTV in the government house will draw 24 billion. This 24 billion we are talking about, a billion is 9 digits. 9 digits is not a small thing. Half of 9 digits is 500 million. CCTV. Haba. Nigerians should pity those that they lead. Nigerian leaders should pity those that they lead. All these appropriations are too outrageous to the best of my knowledge. So my prayer remains that as the House of Assembly have raised an eyebrow concerning this, let them be honest. Let it not be just, okay, give us our own and we'll keep quiet. And the sole administrator will go ahead, give them their own, and they will say, okay, yes, automatic passage. Let it not be like that. Let us be patriotic for once to try a situation whereby Rivers State would be developed, Kano State would be developed, Lagos State will be developed, the Federal Capital Territory will be developed, several parts of Nigeria will be developed, and we will become the giant of Africa that we claim to be. The giant of Africa, let it not stop at our number alone, but in all ramifications.
What do you make of the peace between Fubara and Umike?
Top. I don't know the conditions that led to the peace accord. I don't know. But I used to hear faintly that the conditions were in favor of Wike. And that was why he decided to down tools. And that everything he will be doing will be at the whims and caprices of Wike. Well, if they agree like that, I don't have any problem about that. But that is what virtually is happening everywhere.
But do you see
the country?
But do you see Sim Larry Fubara taking back his office as the governor of Rivers State?
I don't know until that day comes. But what I'm envisaging is if actually the peace deal was well struck, why not? Why not? Fubara is not the person who ejected himself out of office.
Okay.
Ibok was not the one who ejected Fubara out of office.
Yeah.
Who ejected Fubara out of office were Wike and Tinubu. If they agree, even if it is today, they say, okay, Ibok, live there. And they let Fubara come in. Fubara has satisfied us. It is a one-way traffic. Nothing stops them. So many people have raised alarm that the installation of Ibok there is unconstitutional.
Yes.
But since Tinubu is used to unconstitutional activities, he didn't move him. Ibok is still there. So if he now decides and says, okay, Ibok will live there, even if it is unconstitutional, Ibok has no option. He will live there. So Ibok living there and Fubara being restated depends on the positions of, or the positionings of Wike and Tinubu.
Do you think that if Fubara gets his seats back in the government house as the governor, do you think he will still be the individual, the captain of the ship? Do you think he's going to, run with his own agenda, or some persons will be whispering in his ears on what to do?
Well, until he comes there. But what I'm trying to say here is, if Fubara gets there now, with the wave of event that they struck him, they may decide to soft pedal because of the assailants that is coming up from the coalition. From the coalition. The coalition that is coming is a heavy do against them.
Yes.
They will try to trade softly, not to handle governors roughly. Because when they handle governors roughly, Fubara can decide to join the ADC. If they don't go in line with terms that will be comfortable for Fubara. So I believe very strongly that if Fubara comes back now, the way they attacked him, they may not attack him that hard anymore, seeing that the coalition is building up, so that they don't lose him to the coalition.
Well, how far do you think the coalition can go? Because we have different individuals.
Very far.
We have different individuals with their own, agendas.
Look, this is what I used to say.
Yes.
My own take about the coalition. One thing that will make the coalition to be sustained is selflessness.
Okay.
Drop greed. If you don't put yourself first and you come, and the whole Nigerians and those who are proponents of this coalition, they come together and say, okay, this is what we are going to do, this is what we are going to do, this is what we are going to do in the interest of Nigerians. If they do that, the coalition will have an automatic passage.
A very big if there.
Yes. But if Atiku now says, I want to be president, Obi says, I want to be president, El-Rufai says, I want to be president, Amechi says, I want to be president, Arebesola says, I want to be president, well, Mark is already heading it as the chairman.
Chairman, yes.
And Arebesola as the secretary already. Their own is settled.
It's settled, yes.
But if the rest big wigs, they now maintain that they must be the captain of the ship. That is where the problem will come. But what I wish them is to be able to come to a round table discussion and to be able to use a binocular instrument to view things, to make sure that they cripple APC. Because what I hear them say is, what we are coming here to do is just to eject Tinubu out of government. I think that is their main heading. They want to eject Tinubu come 2027. I think I have heard El-Rufai say that time without number.
Yes.
And actually I have also heard Obi saying it, time without number. Atiku too
Said the same.
have said that. So if the aim is to push Tinubu out of office because of his anti-people policies, then they should plan it very, very well. They should drop cells, their various cells, and look at a common instrument they will use to achieve this.
All right. That's that's a key word now. If they will drop selves and, their own self-agendas, then there might be a chance for the coalition. I want to say a very big thank you to Dr. Bartholomew Abocheno, who is an elder statesman. Thank you so much for joining us on today's edition of Midday Discourse.
My pleasure.
All right. And this is how much time will permit us to take on today's edition of Midday Discuss. My name is Samuel Odi. I'll see you again as we discuss further. Bye for now.